have Jake Heffernan back on the show now, who will be facing Dimitry Ivy next on November the 21st at Fury FC 54. Jake, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well, feeling good, ready to get in there and get locked in that cage for sure.
Yeah, it's exciting to see you back in action. Now, you were supposed to fight him in September of this year at Fury FC 50. So what happened there? Because I'm sure that's not something that you wanted to pull out from. So there has to be a reason. So enlighten me.
You know what? It was one of those scenarios of I was in training, everything was going really well, and I just had a little injury that was nagging for a little while, and then it got worse in training. And after coming off of the injuries I had before, um, I'm at too much of a professional level to take risks that are not good risks. You know what I mean? Like every risk must be calculated and measured. And this was one of those ones where we do respect Dimitry Ivy's style and ability. And so I wanted to fight him to my full ability with no excuses of, well, I was hurt or this was injured or that was injured. So we chose to postpone. And then we actually had a reset, but then that one also got pushed back because Ivy ended up having a little bit of an injury as well. But we ended up both pulling on each other once, and then now we're matched back up. So I think with one of those things too is as long as you rematch the opponent, postponing 1 or 2 months isn't a big deal. Because like I said, all the respect is there, but we want to make sure we're able to compete at that full ability.
Yeah, 100%. That makes sense. And I know with camp, there's a lot of grinding and bumps and bruises and everything that you experience. So you do want to feel as good as you can going into a fight. How do you feel now? I mean, we're getting close to the big fight night. How has this camp been?
Actually, it's been amazing. First and foremost, due to my new nutritionist, which is Pena Performance. I took the chance in hiring a nutritionist to take over my diet because I was kind of in guess mode for most of my dieting, and I could feel it. I think that was also what attributed to the bumps and bruises in camp getting worse and worse and worse. So that was also a part of kind of that pause point or that holding off on the fight was I really needed to get my body in the correct state for competition, especially after, like I said, coming off of breaking my leg, which I look back now and think, man, if my nutrition had been a little more on point, maybe my leg wouldn't have snapped in that fight. And then and even beyond that, maybe if I had a good nutrition plan when I was coming off of being shot, maybe I would have healed even faster. So um, I feel better. I'm more well fed than I've ever been for camp. I eat 6 meals a day. And before I was eating maybe 2 meals a day, so I was at a very hard caloric deficit, is what my nutritionist told me. And now, like I said, eating 6 meals a day, sparring twice a day, teaching, training, running, lifting, doing everything, and never losing energy. So honestly, this camp has been the best that I've ever had, and I have some good feelings about the fight night, as well as just to add in, it's also my birthday on that day, so I'm looking to hopefully get a knockout for my birthday for myself. And it's cool too because I fought on Father's Day last time, and now I'm fighting on my birthday. So
Very cool. Happy early birthday, my friend. Hopefully
thank you, sir.
you do get a nice present come fight night. I did just
Yeah.
want to circle back and ask a couple things that just about the diet. What is there one or two foods in particular that you just had to cut out that maybe you used to like that now you just realize this isn't good for me?
Yeah, I can't have Popeye's chicken sandwiches anymore. And that's been a really hard one for me. I love the Popeye's chicken spicy sandwich. And now, granted, I was never eating them in camp before, but I I just I enjoy those fried foods, I guess. But apart from the fried foods, I don't have to limit myself on anything. I've realized with a nutritionist, as long as you're eating the right things in the right order, with its proteins and fats and carbs and vegetables and fruits, like those 5 things in the right order at the right times of the day. Like I had lasagna last week And that was something that I probably never would have done out in any of my other camps. But because my nutrition is so good, my body is running so well. There's really, apart from fried foods, there's nothing I can't have. So it's been nice. Like I went to Fogo de Chao, which is a Brazilian steakhouse, and I felt like 13 or 14 pounds of red meat. Hit a workout the next day, and I was right back where I was on point with my weight. So
Wow.
Eric Pena is a master. He took over everything. He checks in with me multiple times a week. He makes sure that I'm drinking the right amount of fluid, eating the right stuff. If I have like a change up that I need, like say I skip a workout or I go out of town to go hit some cross training, he will fine tune another diet like replacement for me. So he makes sure I'm on point. He's one of the most professional people I've ever had the pleasure of working with for my career.
Wow, sounds like he's someone to really look up and maybe learn from as far as anyone out there watching their diet goes. You mentioned lasagna. What's the best time of day to eat lasagna? So, because I'm an Italian eater myself, I love pizza, lasagna, anything like that. So, when can I eat it? What's the right time?
Nighttime, right after a hard training session. Definitely not in the middle of the day. But yeah, I would. It's funny too because he sends me this giant list of all the foods that I can have and choose from, and one of the underneath is like a you can have this every once in a while is the lasagna, and I look forward to having it. And my wife is an amazing cook, and she knows how to put a little bit of an extra healthy kick on anything she's making. So she was able to make like wheat noodles with the lasagna, and then everything else was normal. The ricotta cheese, the red sauce, all that. The other thing that's nice is he doesn't make me limit any of my salt, so I don't have to sit there and have tasteless food all the time as well.
Wow. Okay. Eric Pena. It's noted. I might have to look him up.
Yeah, he's
As
amazing.
far as yeah, it sounds it, man. As far as life outside of MMA, I mean, it sounds like your day is just full with training, with coaching, everything that you're doing that revolves around combat sports. Anything new in your life outside of just the regular day to day grind? I mean, you are the grinder. That is your nickname. So.
Yeah, I have really been focusing in on making sure that I have enough time for the family. Actually, my wife actually started a new job recently, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm, handling the home front on, basically what my chores are, to make it as easy on her as possible. Being a professional athlete full time gives me a lot of free time. So it's like I go to the gym for a couple hours in the morning, and then I get to have the rest of the day off. So I get home and I try to knock out some chores to make her life easier. In the mornings, I'm prepping my kids for daycare and for private school and making sure that they're ready to go. So it's like I wake up at 6 a.m. every morning, get the kids ready, get them dressed, brush their teeth, get them fed, get them to school, and then as soon as I get home, I'm doing the laundry and taking care of the dishes and just trying to make it as easy on my wife as possible so that, she's working from home. So to make the area nice. And then the one thing that I'm actually pretty happy about the newest change is, and my wife's probably going to laugh at me for this, but I just got an English bulldog and that is my dream dog. Her name is Savvy. She's the cutest little thing on the planet and she's 2 years old. So I adopted her and, I've always wanted an English bulldog for my whole life, so I have that now. And it's like in my life, I used to tell my wife before we were, had kids, I was like, there's three things I want to be in life: a pro MMA fighter, a champion in MMA, and then a dad. And then I've done all three of those, and I never realized the one thing that was missing is I want my English bulldog. I need that English bulldog, and now I got her. So
So why an English bulldog? There's got to be a reason behind that. So I'm a dog lover. So please tell me.
It's the snorting and how they stay small and they're just like little balls of energy. I mean, I literally, if she's out like in the house, she is playing 100% of the day. And being that she's so small, it's very fun. My wife owns a pit bull, so he's pretty big. So sometimes wrestling and playing with him gets a little rowdy. So it was nice to add her into the mix so that he had a friend to play with, and I didn't have to get so beat up with him. Um, but yeah, it's the snorting and the cute face and the fat body, man. Those things are so cute. I just can't help
And
it.
is the pit bull gentle with the English bulldog? Do they play well?
Actually, actually, the English Bulldog bullies around the pit bull. He is so like well trained for playing with dogs because he's just a good boy that I don't have to worry about him getting too rough with her or anything like that. And she's actually sometimes I got to tell her not to be too rough with him because she's a little monster sometimes. But you know, it's that bully breed, bro. She wants to go in like a tank, take his ankles out, and I call her a little ankle biter because anytime we wrestle, that's what she's trying to grab is my feet and my ankles.
Well, that's awesome, man. Very happy for all your personal success. Thank you for sharing all that with me. Now, I believe last time that I spoke with you was right before you were getting ready to fight Justin Lin. You got a UD win in that one. How pleased are you with the performance?
I'm happy with the win, especially after 2 years off. There's always that ring rust fear that you'll have. Not even a fear, just like one of those things that you kind of got to take into account. Like I haven't been there in 2 years. There's going to be a couple of things that are going to be a little bit kind of like a hard realization. And so one of the things was going into the second round, my legs were jello. And I was like, oh, I forgot your legs are the first thing to go out in the fight. It's like I just totally forgot. But on the same end, like I got out of a really tough submission in the beginning of the fight after the double leg. I think that I made my way through that submission quite well. He ended up going for the guillotine, and then I hopped to side control, and then he reloaded his guard to finish. So I let him go to mount. I rolled myself to my back and let him go to mount. But then I hit a backdoor escape into a heel hook, and I almost went for the heel hook because it was in. But then I took the top position and then started my ground and pound and grinding off. And I did feel a little flat-footed in the fight. I was kind of trudging forward a little bit. That was halfway due to the fact that just that rubbery feeling from competing at that high level, that adrenaline dump. But I felt like that actually played in my favor because I was able to very easily zero in and like land when I needed to and take him down when I needed to. And we actually didn't know he was a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. And he's from California, and they have some really good jiu-jitsu down there. So after the fight was when we found out he had a brown belt, and I was like, huh, I could sense that because I really had trouble getting into position on you. Like every time I wanted to posture up and pound, he was escaping to the next spot. And so he was really, it was a fun fight. And apart from that wiggly leg feeling, I feel like I really showed that even though the 2 years off was unfortunate, I don't think that I fell back in any way, shape, or form from my own style.
Very good. Well, a win is all that matters. And after that layoff, getting that win, I know has got to be amazing for your confidence. And you've got a stellar record, my man. Only two losses and what is it, 8 wins now? Are you eight
Yes,
and two?
sir. 8-2.
So
Yes, sir.
if you get a win here at a big promotion, Fury FC, it's a big promotion. Where does that put you? Do you feel like you're getting close to getting that call up to the next level? I know every fighter I talk to wants to make it to the UFC. Is that your goal? How close do you feel you are if you get another win?
I always feel like I'm one fight away. I have Iridium Sports Management. They're the ones who take care of all of my matchmaking and my manager Jason House and all the guys that work with him are just incredible. And I ask them their opinion on the matchups, and I don't make rash decisions on anything without talking to them first. And it's really, you know, been better for me. They have like I think they signed their 100th guy to the UFC a couple weeks ago. I've been with them for about 3 years, and with a win, on the 21st, I feel like I could probably just let Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby know, hey, I'm ready when you guys are. My weight is on point. I could cut weight tomorrow and make weight for 45, and I would also fight 55 for the UFC if they needed a short notice replacement. So I think the fact that I have that ability, and I think with the record that I have, I could win this fight and either take maybe a title fight after that and then get signed. Or honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they called me for a short notice match for the UFC. Um, I know that some guys like Bellator, and then I know PFL is in the works, and I know ONE FC is also a big promotion, and those are all the big three apart from the UFC. But my coach is Alex Morono. He's in the UFC. My best and you know greatest training partner is Ricky Tercios. Tough champ. So I want to be with my boys in the UFC. I want the three of us. We teach at the gym together, and I nothing would make me happier than to have three UFC fighters teaching out of Gracie Barra Woodlands. I teach the MMA class. Ricky teaches the MMA class with me. He teaches the kids jujitsu, and then Alex teaches the adults jujitsu. And then we have our striking coach, Matthew Wald, who is a phenomenal striking coach. And I think with the four of us there, three of us being in the UFC and one of us being an extremely, extremely professional UFC coach and cornerman, I think that is something that, not a lot of gyms are able to say, like, these guys started from teenagers. They were all together the whole time. We've never tried to disband from each other. We've all, kept up with each other. Ricky went to Alpha Male for a little while, but he was coming back every few months to make sure he kept his training up with us. He's back now full time teaching and training at the gym with us. So I think the UFC is definitely where I want to be. And it has nothing to do with how much the money pays or the fact that it is the bigger and biggest promotion. It just has everything to do with nothing would make me happier than, again, to be in the UFC with my best friends in the world. And then on top of that, to hopefully get matched up on a card where all three of us are fighting for the UFC at the same time so we can get in there and get in and get it done and just create that legacy.
Yeah, that'd be pretty darn cool. Well, let's talk about this matchup, Dimitri Ivy, and this is an important fight for you because he's 9-7. I don't want to discredit like him at all as a fighter, but when you're facing someone 9-7, when you have the record that you do, this is almost a must-win for you. You don't want to be losing this fight. Do you feel that extra pressure going in there to not just win, but to look good doing so because you're getting closer to signing with the biggest promotion in the world?
The pressure is always there. That is something that, that's a part of the mental game. Every fight is the most important fight of your life. That's how I've always lived my career. That's how Alex has always coached me and fine tuned me. Like, we never take any opponent lightly. In the beginning of my career, I fought a couple of guys with some upside down records, and I took those even more serious than the ones against the guys with regular records because I didn't want to make any mistakes or look stupid. Um, so him having the record he has, I'm gonna fight him just like I fight everybody else. I'm gonna grind him up against that cage. I'm gonna turn his ass into dust and make him quit. And his record, he's got a lot of fights, and that's what I look at as the experience. So it's, I'm still going to be, hands up, chin tucked, biting down on that mouthpiece and not making any mistakes, and then looking to really handle up on him completely. No disrespect, but I feel like I am on another level completely from him. So I think he'll realize that as soon as we start to get in there, and within probably the first 30 seconds, he's going to be like, oh, this is going to be a tough fight. And then I sense that I sense a finish. Honestly, the camp's been going so well. The nutrition is so good, that I feel like I could literally do 10 rounds MMA fight and not be tired. So I'm really looking forward to getting in there with him and just, obviously always looking for the knockout. But if it's a 3-round barn burner, hopefully Michael Chandler and Gaethje look up my fight and go, holy shit, these guys went harder than we did.
Great analogy, man. What a fight that was. And that you actually answered my next question is how you see the fight ending. And you're saying it's a finish. Do you believe it gets out of the first round?
I don't. But we always plan for the third round. always, because you never know what's going to happen in a fight. You know, I could break my leg in the first 10 seconds and have to fight for 15 minutes on it, which I've done. So we always plan for the long haul. But I sense with how good training has been going. My training partners, again, Ricky Tercios, Alex Morono, my coach Matthew Wald. You know, I train with the War guys, you know, Trevin Giles and Charlie Ontiveros and all the guys up there at War. I am being tested and pushed to the limits every time I train, and always coming out on top. So I feel like a finish is inevitable. But again, I'm ready to leave that ring bloody and cut open, but with my hand raised. So if Ivy's not ready for that kind of fight, he's going to be in for a very big surprise. Like I said, I'm ready to go 10 rounds if need be.
I can't wait. I can assure you I'll be watching on UFC Fight Pass November 21st, Fury FC 54. The Grinder, Jake Heffernan, Dimitri Ivy in a featherweight bout. Pleasure talking to you again, my man. Before I let you go, I want to give you the floor. Thank anyone you want and tell people where to find you on social media.
Yes, sir. So my social media is Jake GBTW on Instagram, and then Jake GBTW89 on Twitter, and then of course my Jake Heffernan MMA Fighter on Facebook. My sponsors are Loaded Pistols, which are the people who hook up the fight kit, my walkout shorts, my shirt, my sweats, my hoodie, my hat, just like the Reebok gear. Um, Loaded Pistols really takes care of me. They make sure I have everything early before the fight, so I don't have to, you know, waste time or stress out looking for it. And then I did pick up some new sponsors this time around. So I got Dream Honey, which is a melatonin honey. I'm actually really excited to start taking that on the regular to help with sleep. That's also one of the biggest and most important things of fighting is your sleeping. That rest is ever so important. A fun one is actually Boars All Day, which is the place that I got shot when I was hunting. They came out of the woodwork and just said, "Dude, we're so happy you're still fighting. We're so amazed that you can still do this. So we want to help you out and get you what you need." So they took over on some of my sponsorship and really just facilitated all of what I needed nutrition wise. Because let me tell you, paying for your nutrition does get a little expensive, but they took care of that. Um, I did start to get into the cryptocurrency and got sponsored by one of the platforms called Dig Inu. They actually hooked it up quite handily, and they again same thing, taking care of the shirts that I needed made, my fight shorts, my banner. They really hooked it up, and I'm actually really excited to get into the cryptocurrency, learning everything about it, and you know these ones are those NFTs where you can kind of play the games with them as well. So I'm kind of happy to get myself involved with that. One of my day one sponsors is Bayou City Tattoo Shop here in Houston, off of Highway 6. They have hooked up all of the beautiful tattoos for since I was 18 years old. Never gone to another tattoo artist, and they are still with me. Before I even thought about even getting sponsorships, they found out about my matchup and then immediately hit me up and they were like, "Dude, we're so excited, we can't wait." And it's like that kind of stuff really makes a difference when you have that support system. And then beyond that is the some of the local sponsors, Vinny Vincent Real Estate. He actually helped me find the house that I'm in right now. You know, just an awesome guy. I've been training with him for years. And then beyond that is the rehabilitation people. So that's going to be Houston Spine and Rehab. They give me my massages. They cut my back. They do their chiropractic as well. So I'm very well taken in the recovery area. And then the hydration, which is Hickman Hydrate. He basically supplies me with like 40 gallons of water so that I can make sure I'm staying on point with my water. Again, another extremely important thing that I used to kind of not pay so much attention to, which is hydrating yourself. And then actually Blissful Waters, which is a sensory deprivation tank, the float centers. If you've heard Joe Rogan talk about it, you guys will know it will put your mind in a new state. You will think better. You will meditate better. You'll sleep better. You'll train better. Everything about your life will get better when you float. I don't know what it is exactly, but man, I get out of those tanks after about an hour and a half and I just feel like a brand new person. And so, again, if you don't have the support in this game, you can fall behind. It's not impossible, but it gets harder and harder when you try to do everything on your own. And, it's the same thing as you can't go into a fight without cornermen. You can't have a long lasting career without the right support system. And I feel like I've had that for my career, but especially after coming off of being injured and shot and almost dying, these guys really make me enjoy my fight career more than anything else. So I cannot thank all of them enough. And apart from that, just want to thank my family for dealing with me throughout the camp, because I know that can also be difficult. My wife Nikita is just, she makes sure that I'm resting enough. She makes sure that I'm, taking the right steps on my nutrition. She was the one who actually pressured me into paying for a nutritionist. So just just honestly, the support system is so important. So just a big, huge shout out to all of them, and I hope that I can give back to them as much as they've given to me in the future.